Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Welcome back, everyone. We have a live report that's coming in now. We're going to get to that immediately, but real quickly, I want to get through the river levels. Yesterday, that didn't work for us. Technology, man. Technology's awesome, but sometimes it ain't. Okay, it's just that simple. I have to show these bounces that are being forecasted. It's going to be a little interesting. I can promise you. Listen, it's the split right now for duck hunting. I get to hunt again on Thursday. I'm already freaking out that I can't go hunting, okay, unless I go over to zone 2, which is always a possibility. But that little bounce right there, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on my home river could be interesting. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the Clackamas, but all of them, okay? Silvers are still around, and you get that kind of a pop of water, and things can change. They can get a little motivated. Along the coast, you're going to actually see, I hope this happens, honestly. You're going to actually see a bounce on all the North Coast rivers. Some of them are going to be a little bit less than others. Some are going to be a little bit more. Here's the Siletz. Another one that's going to be a pretty good bounce. The Alsea, same thing. Everything that if you would want to see on a river, Nehalem, well, that's a little bit interesting. That's just like a little blip. But that'll still, you get that extra scent in the water. You get that extra stink that's in there. It really makes fish change their attitudes. If they're out in the salt water, it gets them into tidewater. If they're in tidewater, it draws them up into the river. So there's a sequence, right? There's a chain of events that happens, and this is all good, right? This is all good stuff. Hopefully, it actually happens, and to be selfish, I hope it doesn't stop and everything keeps going. That's just me. All right, now, before we get to weather with Katie Suniga here in just a minute, I got to take this call. It's Richard from Kenmore. Now, typically when we talk to Richard, he's in a significantly different area than where at least it says he is now. I'm going to leave that up to you, Richard, before I throw that out there. But you got a live report from somewhere. Where are you? What are you seeing? And how's the fishing?
Way up in the upper Cowlitz, trolling lips and warts around. My buddy got a nice 8-pounder this morning, and a little windy with this east wind.
8-pound silver?
Yeah, 8-pound coho.
Very nice. Are you on the river itself? Where you at?
Just on the upper Cowlitz, place called Lake Scanawa.
Okay, very good. Very good. How's the crowd? Yeah, you can hear the wind out there.
No, there's nobody here. It's really windy, and I think 3 boats.
About 3 boats. Is everybody trolling? You got anybody out there that's twitching jigs or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a couple of boats on the inside twitching jigs, but it's mostly a troll show.
Gotcha, gotcha. Don't be scared of twitching, buddy. I'm just throwing it out there to you, Richard. You share great info. I'm gonna share some great ones, but even in the wind. That's pretty. Get your wind at your back, man, if you can. This is an interesting fishery that he's referring to up there. Everyone is something that, who knows, you might hear a little bit more of in the future. But Richard, have you been fishing this much, or is this your first day out?
No, this is first day out here this year, but I've been coming here for 2, 3, 4 years, and it's really hit and miss. But when you're fishing with good people and your best friends and your best fishing partners, it makes time go by a little faster in between bites.
Yeah, well, of course, it's called fishing. That's one of the reasons why we do it. The wind can make things a little bit more difficult. Have you noticed the other boats around or anybody else having any success?
I've seen Clancy's guide service up here, but I haven't seen any other fish hooked besides us. So they're mostly kind of spread out here a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't follow Clancy around a lot. If they're there, he's just going to go ahead and get them. Ron is really good. really good at that. Richard, thanks for your phone call, my friend. We appreciate it. I got to ask, so you're in the freshwater. When are you going to get back out to the saltwater?
Well, hey, when the Department of Fish and Wildlife gets their head out of there, anyway, I don't know. It seems like once they take something away, Owen, like my winter blackmouth fishery, and give us just scraps and tell us that the whales need to be fed, we got a big fight on our hands with north of Falcon this year. We left a lot of Chinook on the table in Area 10 and Area 11. We had a lot of time taken away from us, and for what? We had one of the best salmon runs in 25 years. Our hatcheries are so loaded with fish, they're letting all their excess fish go to places that haven't seen them, fisheries that are opening up that haven't been opened up in years. It's the department trying to make up for what they did to us on the saltwater, and I hope people pay attention to north of Falcon and the loaf meetings this winter.
We're going to talk a lot about that, and I'd love to hear more about what you think about it as well going forward. It is it's a very interesting situation. He just referred to fish that made it by into the hatcheries that never had a chance to get caught, or at least that opportunity for people to catch them. Right, everyone? That's what hatchery fish are for. All hatchery fish must, well, perish. That's what they're for, to eat. It is what it is.
They must be eaten, or they must die.
Yes, sir. There's no question. That's one of the reasons why, or that's one of the best management practices there is. Richard, thanks for your call, man. We appreciate it. And be safe out there, man. Have some fun. All right. We'd love to talk to you in the future. Let's check in with Katie Suniga. I'm already running long. Let's talk with Katie and find out what this weather's going to do. Any changes since yesterday, Katie?
You know, I would say there's a slight change that I have to show you, and it's not necessarily a change, it's more that we're just getting farther into what we're seeing for that next chance for rain, and it's picking up for us for the first full week. Here's what it looks like. Beautiful up at the mountain here, and then of course it's clear, crystal clear, and still on the chilly side there at Willamette Valley. We are seeing our temperatures get just slightly warmer today. We were talking about that east wind just a moment ago. You could hear it on that call. Today we're expecting gusts to at least get to 40 miles per hour on the west end of the gorge and into parts of the Portland metro. Nothing really changes until we start getting into Tuesday, and now you're starting to see a few clouds. When Tuesday goes into Wednesday, that's when we see a shift and a chance for some precipitation. Here's the ridge we've had. It's breaking down. It's allowing this low pressure to come in. You see this right here. That's what I want you to pay attention to, because we do have to talk about the A word, the atmospheric river. Here's what that's doing. It's coming down. It's grabbing this, bringing it in and pouring it right toward the Pacific Northwest. Look at that beautiful comma right there, just coming right up into our region. This is good for the chance for rain. If it's a warm rain, then it's not as good, because that means it could melt the snow we already have. So it's a double-edged sword. What we're looking at here is a chance for showers on Thursday, possible break on Friday, and then Saturday. Oh, and this one's for you. It starts on Saturday, and at this point in our extended forecast past this, we don't see it letting up for several days.
Interesting. We actually mentioned that yesterday about the atmospheric river being a problem with trying to keep that base up on the mountain. Yeah. Is there a way to determine if it is going to be a warm rain or a cold rain? Is there a way to
We have to watch the temperatures at about this 850 millibar level. So it's one of those things, you know, that's more than 7 days out. So you know how it is when you go that far.
Sure.
So we have to watch, and temperature will play a big factor as to whether it turns to snow or melts the snow. But either way, it's showing quite a bit of rain.
Well, it's a good and bad thing, like you said, double-edged sword. We appreciate it, Katie, as always. We'll see you next Saturday. Yep. All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Alex Maslov from, I almost got that wrong, Maslov from Edge Rods here in the studio. We're talking steelhead rods, and if you want to talk about the best ones, stick with us here. Don't go anywhere. I can promise you it'll be worth it. We'll be back in just a minute.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.